There is a bench under an oak tree that I have not sat on in 11 years, and every single autumn, when the first leaf turns orange, I feel her hand in mine again. This is not just a love story. This is the story of a promise I broke, a letter I never sent, and the one October afternoon that changed everything I thought I knew about losing someone. Stay until the end, because the last 4 minutes of this story will absolutely wreck you. Before we go any further, hit that subscribe button right now, because stories like this one deserve to find you again next time. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever gone back to a place just to feel close to someone you lost? And if this story moves you even a little, share it with someone who needs a reminder that love like this is real. Okay, let's begin. My name doesn't matter. What matters is her name, Amara. I met her on a Tuesday in October, in a town so small the leaves outnumbered the people. I was 22, broke, directionless, carrying a duffel bag and a broken heart from a life I'd left behind in the city. She was sitting on a bench under an old oak tree, sketching the way the light broke through the branches. I asked her what she was drawing. She said, "The last good day." I didn't understand what she meant. Not then. We talked for 6 hours that day, 6 hours that felt like 6 minutes. She told me she believed autumn was the only honest season, because it doesn't pretend things last forever. Spring lies to you, summer spoils you, but autumn tells you the truth, gently, one leaf at a time. I fell for her before the sun went down. By the time winter came, we were inseparable. By spring, we were making plans neither of us said out loud, but both of us believed in. And then came our second autumn. We went back to that same bench, under that same oak tree, exactly 1 year after we met. She brought 2 coffees and a small velvet box. Not the kind you think. Inside was a single dried maple leaf from the day we met. She'd kept it for a year. "I want to make you a promise," she said. "Every autumn, no matter where life takes us, no matter how far apart we ever are, we come back to this bench, even if it's just for an hour. Even if it's just to sit in silence." I laughed. I told her that was the easiest promise I'd ever make. I had no idea how hard it would become, because 6 months later, everything changed. I got a job offer. The kind you don't turn down, or at least, the kind 23-year-old me convinced himself he couldn't turn down. Another city, another life, a promotion that came with a price tag neither of us calculated until it was already paid. Amara didn't beg me to stay. She just asked one thing. "Promise me the bench." I promised. The first year apart, I kept it. I flew back for 2 days in October, sat under that oak tree with her, said almost nothing, and it was enough. It was everything. The second year, work got in the way. I called her instead. She said she understood. Her voice didn't sound like it understood. The third year, I didn't call at all. I told myself I'd make it up to her. I told myself autumn would come around again, like it always does. I told myself there was time. I was wrong about that last part. If this story already has a knot in your chest, imagine how tight it gets in the next few minutes. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what happens when this narrator finally goes back. Now back to the story. 4 autumns after I broke the promise, a letter arrived at my apartment. No return address. Just my name, in handwriting I would have recognized anywhere. My hands were shaking before I even opened it. It was from Amara. She wrote about the bench, about how she still went every October, alone, and sat there for exactly 1 hour, the way we used to. She wrote that she wasn't angry anymore, that anger had turned into something quieter, sadder, harder to name. And then came the sentence that broke me completely. She wrote, "I'll be there again this year, one last time. After that, I think it's time I stop waiting for someone who already left." The letter was dated 3 weeks earlier. Autumn was already here. I checked the date on my phone with hands that wouldn't stay still. The leaves outside my window were already turning orange. I had 4 days. I won't bore you with every detail of that drive. I'll just tell you this. I have never driven that fast, that far, on that little sleep, for anyone or anything in my entire life. 600 miles, 2 states, 1 flat tire I fixed on the shoulder of a highway with shaking hands and a borrowed jack, because I refused, refused to let this be the reason I was late. I kept replaying her words in my head. One last time. Not, I hope you come. Not, please come. Just, one last time. Like she already knew the answer. Like she'd already made peace with losing me for good. I didn't want her peace. I wanted her. I arrived in town on the third day, at dusk, with the fourth day, the day of the letter, waiting at sunrise. I didn't sleep that night. I sat outside the town, in my car, staring at the same sky she was probably staring at, somewhere close enough to touch, and still impossibly far. Morning came slow and gold, the way it only does in autumn. I walked to the bench 2 hours early. I needed to know if she'd come at all or if the letter had been a goodbye disguised as an invitation. The oak tree was taller now. Its leaves were falling in that slow, spinning way that always made her stop and watch, no matter what we were talking about, no matter how urgent the conversation felt. I sat down. I waited. An hour passed, then another. I started to believe I was too late, that she'd already come and gone, that this story ended with an empty bench and a maple leaf I didn't have anymore. And then I heard footsteps on the gravel path. I turned around. It was her. Older. A little different. The same eyes that used to look at autumn like it was speaking directly to her. She stopped walking the moment she saw me. She didn't run to me. She didn't smile right away. She just stood there, 20 feet away, like she was deciding whether I was real or another trick her memory liked to play on her every October. "You're late," she finally said. "By about 4 years." I stood up, my voice barely worked. "I know," I said. "I'm here now. I know that doesn't erase it, but I'm here now, and I'm not leaving this bench again. Not this year, not ever." Roll. She walked closer, slowly, and sat down beside me, not touching, just close enough that I could feel the warmth of the space between us. "Do you know why I called it the last good day the first time we met?" she asked. I shook my head. "Because I always believed good things end," she said. "My parents, my childhood home, every version of happiness I'd ever had, it always had an expiration date I couldn't see coming. So I told myself if I named it early, if I called every good day the last good day, it couldn't break my heart when it actually ended." She looked at me. "You became the first good thing I stopped calling the last, and then you left anyway." And I told myself, see, I was right all along. My chest felt like it was caving in. "I'm not asking you to erase 4 years," I said. "I'm asking for one more autumn, and if I earn it another one after that, I don't want to be the reason you were right about good things ending. I want to be the reason you're wrong." For a long moment she said nothing. The leaves kept falling around us, slow and gold and endless, like the tree itself was giving us time to figure this out. Then she reached into her coat pocket and pulled something out. It was the maple leaf, the original one, still dried, still fragile, kept safe for 6 years through every autumn I wasn't there for. She placed it in my hand. "Every year I almost threw this away," she whispered. "Every year I couldn't. I wish I could tell you that moment fixed everything instantly, that we walked off into some perfect sunset and never looked back. Real love doesn't work that fast, and honestly, if it did, I wouldn't trust it. What I can tell you is this: that October, we sat on that bench for 3 hours, not to fix 4 years of silence in one afternoon, but to prove, to each other and to ourselves, that some promises are worth crawling back for, even late, even broken, even imperfect. We're still writing our story. It isn't a fairy tale, it's something better, it's real, it's earned, and every single autumn, we're back on that bench, under that same oak tree, watching the leaves fall like they're counting the years we almost lost. Because here's the truth this whole story is built around. Autumn doesn't lie to you. It shows you exactly what's worth holding on to, and what you're willing to let fall away. Every autumn reminds me why we loved. And every autumn I choose to love her again. If this story moved you even a fraction of how much it moved me telling it, subscribe right now. Because there's another story just like this one, waiting for you next time. Comment below and tell me the season that reminds you of someone you love. And if you know someone who needs to hear that it's not too late to go back, share this with them today. Because somewhere, right now, there's a bench waiting for someone to come home to it.